Hello, I'm Fintan O'Toole from the 42.ie, just back from Pairc Ui Chaoimh, watching today's Alliance Football League Division 2 clash Cork v Down, and it's finished Cork 116, Down 112. Absolutely huge win for Cork. I suppose the consequences of this game were illustrated regularly, I suppose, during the week in the build-up to it. Both sides were in relegation trouble, and the big outcome is that Cork still have a chance to preserve their status. They'll need to win next week when they play Offaly in Tullamore, but they're still mathematically, it's within their own hands that they still have a chance of preserving their Division 2 status for next year, whereas Down have been relegated to Division 3 on the back of today's defeat. So both sides enter the game with 4 losses so far and only 1 point each. Down had drawn against Meath, and Cork had managed to draw against Clare, but this game was of huge importance to both. And Cork just about deserved it, I think, winning by, as I said, by 4 points, 116 to 112. Big score, 2 big scoring performances for them really were key. Stephen Sherlock, the St. Finbarr's forward, who was very effective for them last year when they won the county senior title in Cork, and they obviously went on to win the Munster Club and reached the All-Ireland Club semi-final. He finished with 1-7, 5 points from frees. Cathal O'Mahony alongside him will be a young guy who was on the Cork under-20 team that won the All-Ireland Championship in 2019. He scored 3 points from play. He's had his injury problems. He was out since last year's relegation playoff against Westmeath when he did his hamstring and that, but he's come back in recent weeks, came on as a sub last week against Meath, started today at full forward, and the two of them between them scoring 110. That was a pretty huge important contribution from a Cork point of view. Colin McCallaghan also kicked 2 points, and ultimately Cork just had that greater scoring threat in the second half. They scored 11 points in all in the second half, and that probably just about got them over the line. For Down's point of view, Tiernan Rush scored their goal. They had 3 points from Andrew Gilmore all from frees, and 3 points as well from his full forward colleague Pat Havern, and Darren O'Hagan in defence. He came up forward and got 2 points. The sides were pretty well matched earlier on. I mean, it was 3 points apiece after 12 minutes. Then it was 4 points apiece by the 22nd minute. But the big crucial breakthrough for Cork came in the 28th minute. Sherlock finishes the goal to the net into the Blackrock end of Pairc Ui Chaoimh. A really clever finish where the ball was played into him, and he managed to just flick it one-handed over Down goalkeeper Rory Burns, who was a late introduction for them. He started instead of Kilcoo's Niall Kane. But it was all down to John O'Rourke's kind of break. He was really good in that move. He managed to kind of break the Down defensive cover, and it was the first time really that Cork had got joy in that sense. Both sides had, though, missed big goal chances before that, around the 21st minute mark, the 15th minute mark in quick succession. First up for Down, Anthony Doherty had a great goal chance. Bumby Hall Martin, the Cork goalkeeper, stood up really well, the Neiman Rangers man. He managed to tip his shot wide of the post, and to compound matters for Down, they missed the result in 45. But then seconds later, Cork missed a big goal chance. Cathal O'Mahony, he was going for a point realistically. He hoofed the ball up into the air, but it dropped short, and Dan O'Dineen had kind of stolen in behind the defensive cover, and he got at the ball. A pretty good chance to put it into the back of the net, but his shot went the wrong side of the upright. But Sherlock's goal, I suppose, gave Cork a bit of headway. They came out in the second half and tacked on a couple of points. They were 5 clear at one stage, but then again, the game looked like it was going to turn in Down's favour in the 48th minute when their goal arrived from Tiernan Rush. Now, I suppose I'm praising Sherlock earlier on for his contribution. This was the one kind of blotch on his display. He lost the ball in attack. It was turned over in possession, and Down broke really quickly. Kevin McKernan did very well, as did Anthony Morgan, another Kilcoo player who was a late introduction into the side. And Tiernan Rush's finish was lovely, left-footed into the top corner of the net. That made it 1-9 to 1-8. Now, this happened repeatedly in the second half. There was 3 times that Down came within a point, but crucially, they never managed to draw level. So after that Rush goal, Cork had 3 points in a row, 2 from Sherlock and 1 from Dineen. Again, Down came back with 3 scores of their own. When Ryan O'Higgins scored a point in the 66th minute, it was 112 to 111. Again, Cork managed to respond. They had 2 points, and in fact, from there on until the finish, they outscored Down 4 points to 1. Pretty frustrating second half from a Down point of view. The fact that they couldn't get level. They're also been unlucky on a couple of occasions. Twice they hit the post and the ball dropped. Point efforts. The ball hit the post, it dropped, but unfortunately for them, it didn't drop into the waiting arms of the Down player. It was a Cork defender, young Tommy Walsh, who was a member of the Cork under-20 football side last year. He was an early introduction to the game, actually. He came on as a sub for the injured Kieran Histon and actually became Cork's 15th debutant in the Senior Football League, which is kind of, I suppose, telling in terms of the scale of the turnover that they've had in their panel. He managed to catch one, And then probably there was a very crucial one in injury time at a stage when it was 114 to 112. Caelan Doherty, who was very, very good all through. People remember him from his performances for Kilcoo in this year's All-Ireland club. He's kind of an all-action wing forward, and he was very, very impressive in trying to make things happen for them in attack. He had a good effort for a point in 71st minute, as I said, when they were trailing by 2 points, but it hit the post and the ball fell kindly for Ian Maguire, the Cork midfielder, and he managed to set and train a counter-attack which ended with Colm O'Callaghan putting over the ball over the bar. So instead of down being only a point down heading into after the first minute of the 4 injury time minutes had been played, Colm O'Callaghan had instead put Cork up by 3 points. Then Sherlock had it on the insurance point to make it 116 to 112. And Cork were probably kind of deserved winners, I think, in the end. The fact that they managed to keep calm at various stages in the second half when it looked like, Down were probably going to get close to them, and we're going to, I suppose, possibly maybe kind of try and sneak a draw. Down knew coming into this game that a draw was, or a defeat was going to send them down into the Division 3 football for next year. Cork, for their part, they would technically still have had a chance if they had lost this game, because the fact that they're going to Offaly next week, but they would have had to rely on Down losing. But as it is now, it's in their own hands. They know that if they get a positive result in the next week, even a draw will do for them on scoring difference. And it's just a huge kind of injection of enthusiasm into their fortunes. Because obviously the big thing about this is that whoever's relegated from Division 2 football this year will be in the Tailteann Cup this summer, unless they manage to get to their provincial final. And given the championship draws that await both Down and Cork, obviously Cork are away to Kerry, the favourites of the All-Ireland, or at home to Kerry, favourites of the All-Ireland in the Munster football semi-final on the 7th of May. It's going to be a tall order for both to try and reach their respective provincial finals. So the stakes were obviously clear for both sides today, that it was a game of huge importance, and if Cork who managed to get over the line. As I said, Sherlock and Amani both really, really good. Roy Maguire, from Castlehaven, also made a big difference in their defence, and they had a good kind of an attacking dimension to their play with their wing backs. John Cooper, Matty Taylor offered a lot going forward, but Down did trouble them in the full back line. They needed Martin's intervention for that goal chance. A lot of different high balls in the second half. I mentioned the two that hit the post. There was another one where Darren O'Hagan got up to fist the ball, which just went to the right side of the post. Pat Havern and Andrew Gilmer looked dangerous at different times. The likes of Ryan McAvoy and Caelan Doherty, the Kilcoo All-Ireland club winners, were trying to make things happen in the half-forward line, but Down just couldn't get level. And it means that they're heading into their last game against Clare, but they know that their fate has already been sealed and that they will be playing Division 3 league football next year. Cork, at least, have something to play for, and after a pretty, I suppose, hard few weeks for them in terms of losing games, losing players through injury, certain guys have left the panel for different reasons, and there's been different, I suppose, factors for player unavailability. This is a big, big shot in the arm for them in terms of confidence. One other note is that their manager, Keith Ricken, wasn't at the game today. So afterwards, County Board Vice Chairman Pat Horgan spoke to the media. He was doing that because the players had asked the management members not to speak due to the ongoing GPA expenses row. So Pat Horgan informed us afterwards that Keith Ricken was unavailable to attend today's game due to illness, but they wish him a speedy recovery and that they're hopeful that he'll be back in action on the sideline for next Sunday. So as I said, 2:00 next Sunday, Cork head to O'Connor Park in Tullamore, still with a chance of preserving their Division 2 status, but for Down, it's Division 3 Football League football next year.